Morning guys, how you doing? It's Gavin here from Star Fresh Personal Training, and today's video is about simple. I want simple. And this was kind of inspired by somebody that I've worked with recently. I've just found everything a little bit too overwhelming, and basically the feedback was, I just want simple. And I absolutely get that, I really do. And for me, when I was going through my all my weight loss struggles and stuff like that, all I wanted was simple. It really was. And it all becomes really hard, and everything that you look to seemed like a lot of work and a lot of effort. But going back then, for me, nothing out there had long-term in mind. It was all really short-term stuff, right? And lots of the diet plans and training plans and stuff wanted you to do completely overhaul your training regime, completely overhaul your nutrition, and it's a lot of effort. It really is. So when I go into this as well, I try to make things as simple as possible. I'm going to break it down into a couple of things for you. Okay, so I'm gonna go to one that's probably not spoken about, is sleep. All right, a lot of us are knackered. Okay, we're always tired. You see, look on Facebook, look on people. How are you? I'm tired. Drinking coffee, V's, Red Bulls, all those sorts of things, right? And the reason why we're tired is that we tend to, burn the candle at both ends. We're up early, we go to bed late, we're watching Facebook and iPads and stuff at night, and you're essentially in this like bloody cycle of, overstimulated, tired, and stimulating yourself with coffees and teas and stuff to try and come round. And when we're talking simple, simple is simply just going to bed half an hour earlier, and it's practicing going to bed half an hour earlier. Simple is turning off your device before bed half an hour before you go to sleep, just let yourself relax, So no one, or I'm certainly not asking everyone to have a complete overhaul in your diet and life, because it's impossible, really. It's very difficult to do. But what you can do, you can break things down into small bite-sized chunks. And I kind of touched on this before. And when you do that, you can just practice these little things every single day, and that is simple. It doesn't get any simpler than that. The problem we face is that we want everything now. We want it yesterday, because we're really impatient. But that impatience is going to set you up for failure, when in actual fact, if you took things a little bit slower, you're going to be able to reach your goal probably faster, and it's going to last a hell of a lot longer than embarking on the next fad and all that sort of stuff, right? So let's just go back to sleep, right? So if you're somebody that's knackered all the time, and you really haven't got the energy to work out, you haven't got the energy to prepare your meals and make better choices because you're tired and all that, then just go to bed earlier. That's my challenge to you. Try and go to bed a little bit earlier. And if this is an excuse I hear all the time, and it is an excuse, is that the only time I get to myself is when the kids go to bed. Well, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're setting yourself up in this horrible cycle of being knackered all the time. When actually, if you went to bed earlier, you're using that my time, your time, is to recover, and so you can hit the next day a little bit more energized, with a little bit more, less zombie-like, approach to it. And that's what you need to do. And that is simple. That is nothing more simple than going to bed half an hour early. And what's going to happen is, I guarantee, that he's going to, I just can't go to sleep early. It doesn't matter. Just go and lie down, lie in bed in a dark room, and just try. And what's going to happen is, with practice, because you're not used to doing it, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to actually relax and go to sleep. But when it starts to happen, you're going to find everything a lot easier and a lot better. That's number one. Number two is we're going to go down for exercise. And let's just say you do exercise right now, but it's not all that much. And I talk about this all the time. Is do a little bit extra. What does simple look like to you? And that's what it comes down to. For me, going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week is simple to me. If I wanted to do 6 or 7 times, that would be a little bit harder. And I'd have to look throughout my week and say, where else can I train an extra day? Or it could be for somebody that you might be a person that does exercise, you're just not seeing a lot of results, and which I'll get to in nutrition in a second. And if you're somebody that doesn't go to the gym, then all you need to do, which is simple, is literally start walking for 5 minutes every day. And I'm not talking about walking the dog or what you normally do. Is literally go and do something for 5 minutes and practice the habit of doing some exercise, Because when you start doing a little bit of exercise, you're going to train yourself to get into a routine of doing something active. And then what you do then is, once you get used to do 5-minute walking, then you think, well, okay, I'm going to do a little bit more now. And then you're going to, so 3 days a week, you're going to add some squats in or some press ups in, or you're going to join the gym. You're going to go to the gym for 10 minutes and you're going to do all those things. And you start off really, really small, because that is simple. That is the simplest way to do it. It could be that you do lots of cardio right now, and we all know that weight training is basically going to help you get your fitness goals in check a lot quicker than lots of cardio. So it could be then you start doing one weight training routine a week, because when you're starting out and you're a new beginner in the gym, one full body workout once or twice a week is going to be absolutely enough for you right now, and then you build on that slowly. That is simple. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Number 3 is going to be nutrition. So I always get people to keep a food log, right? And the simplest way I found is by MyFitnessPal. And yes, I completely appreciate that it's a bit of a fuss to start with, to track all your food and everything else. But what is simple? Simple is doing what you can do. So if you can only track your breakfast every day, just track your breakfast every day. And then once you get better at tracking your breakfast, then you can track your lunches, then you can track your dinners. But you need to start to track. And there's been thousands of studies done over time that if you log and track your nutrition, you're more likely to be successful long term. Simply because that you're now aware of what you're eating and you start to learn a little bit about yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can't rely on anybody to give you a meal plan, unique to you. You need to work it out for yourself, and that's a harsh reality. There's trainers and fitness people that make millions of pounds and dollars because they're selling you the same kind of meal plans over and over and over, when in actual fact, you just need a strategy for yourself, and a bit of guidance and a bit of coaching to actually learn it for yourself. And so, going back to that, tracking your nutrition, do it meal by meal, or 1 day a week, or whatever is simple to you, whatever you can do, but you've got to do it, okay? You've got to be consistent with it. And look, like the people that do use MyFitnessPal, my clients, the feedback I get from once they can get through that difficult stage, which is about a week or two, maybe a month, maybe, they actually realize how much they've learned. They all get results by doing it, and they all, begin to understand what their diet is looking like, because I can't tell you what your diet is like, only you know that. But the only way you're going to do that is by tracking what you do every single day and everything else. So in terms of simple, okay, what does simple look like to you? Can you put 5 minutes aside and scan the back of your cereal box and scan the back of your milk packet and add that into MyFitnessPal? It'll take you 30 seconds maybe, and that is simple. It doesn't get any simpler than that, but you've got to start doing it. So all of those things I've just talked about are simple, but the problem you're going to have is that it isn't easy to do, right? And the reason why it isn't easy to do is just because you have to take some kind of action, all right? There's no, you've got to get up off your ass and you've got to go and do something, and you can do it as slow as you want and as simple as you want, but you've got to do something. And if you look at something and go, oh, I just can't do that, when try and think of how can you make that thing a little bit easier for you. That's what it comes down to. But ultimately, you've got to do something. You can't, just expect it to fall in your lap and expect it to happen. It's not going to. You've got to actually take, you've got to put your best foot forward, and you've got to do something. And then you build on over time. Because for me, when I started doing it all and I lost all my weight and stuff, I just did stuff, and I did it consistently, and I did it over and over and over and over and over. And in my little video yesterday where I'm now 80 kilos. I lost 20 kilos and I was really, really lean and thin. I didn't like being like that either. So, it's taken me 7 years pretty much, or maybe the last two, maybe four or 5 years to put on 10 kilos of weight, because it takes time, and I didn't want to just smash my food and get fat again. I just wanted to do it slowly, and I did it. I've been doing it slowly. And yes, I get dips in the year where I decide, I want to lose a bit of body fat, and I do it, and it goes up and down, like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and it takes me some time, but I still did it consistently. And I worked out how to do things simply for me within my life and with my time constraints and my ability, and that's what you need to do. And that is what I help you do as a coach and personal trainer. I'm not going to give you a plan and say, yeah, you're going to lose 30 kilos in a month, because that's not what it's about. I want you to be successful long term. I want you to have the skills, knowledge and experience to do this long term, well after I've left the picture and you've stopped using me. I hope to give you as much information as I can for you to go off and do on your own without the need to pay for someone to do it. And that's what I'm about anyway. So yes, you want simple, I appreciate that, but ultimately it comes down to taking action, and you need to do whatever is simple to you. I hope 2018, guys, is going to be awesome for you. I really do. You know, don't let your goals slip by like they did last year potentially. Just do something small, something consistent, something simple for you, and hit 2018. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Bit of a longer video today. Start fresh. If you don't make a change today, how will tomorrow be any different? Cheers.